Assalamu alaikum and good morning, dear students. Welcome to the online session with the topic language analysis of the poems Nilda and Rachel. Today we have to analyze the language which is used in these two narrative poems. So please open pages of your reading and writing workshop book from 294 to 297. First of all, we would talk about figurative language. Figurative language means the language which is not used literally. Literally mean the exact language, but it is used as a symbolic language. You say something to exaggerate, to maximize or minimize or to symbolize. That's called figurative language, and we have discussed all figure of speech and figurative language devices in detail in the previous classes. So it would be better to go back and read those literary terms. The meaning of an idiomatic expression is different from the literal meanings of individual words in the expression. Idiomatic expression is different from the literal meaning. Literal meaning means the exact meaning of the words. So that's why in poetry they use a kind of language which is not usually used in normal writing, in the prose. Normal writing is called prose. Poets may use idiomatic expressions such as, so these are idiomatic expressions, such as, for example, talks a mile a minute. Now, talks a mile a minute. This is idiom. This is idiomatic expression. We can't take the literal meaning, the exact meaning of the words. We can't take it because it's used as a idiom, as an idiomatic expression. To make the speaker words sound like everyday speech, look at the clues in a poem to help you determine the meanings of idiomatic expressions. Find text evidence. Now we would talk about these idiomatic expressions and give the meaning. In Nilda, I know the phrase made a beeline. A beeline in the writ. A beeline doesn't refer to actual bees or line. So you know the meaning of bee, you know the meaning of line. So beeline does not mean as bees or lines. Beeline, the nearby phrase hustle and bustle or hustle and rush. Hustle and rush tells me that people are moving about quickly. Now hustle and bustle, it means people are moving about quickly. People walk quickly, swiftly. While beeline means that the speaker walk quickly and directly to the bus. Beeline means that the speaker who is telling the story in the narrative form. And who was that speaker? The speaker is Nilda. Nilda was saying to Rachel in that narrative poem, walk quickly and directly, so she used beeline. Now here are the exact words from that poem. So you would have a clearer and a better idea. Now look, these are exact words from the same poem. The first one, hey Nilda. Outside with class is over, I have made beeline for the bus. Other kids eager to leave, hustle and rush, feeling free and gleeful. You can see, so beeline for the bus in the highlighted form, while hustle and rush also. So these are two idiomatic expressions which have different meaning than literal meaning. I hope you would have got the point. Now the second point about this language device or the literally elements which are used in this pair of poems: alliteration and assonance. So what are these things? Alliteration and assonance. These are literary elements or literary terms that we discussed earlier. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of words that are near one another. Again, I would repeat. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound. Which are consonant sound? Consonant sound and vowel sound, you know, and you have studied and have been studying in your phonics and spelling book. At the beginning of the word that are near to one another. Repetition. While assonance is the repetition of a vowel sound within a group of words. Assonance is the repetition of a vowel sound within a group of words. So there are examples, it will be further clear when we look at the example. Poets use both devices to aid a song-like quality to a poem and to draw attention to feelings or ideas expressed in certain passages. Why poet need to use these alliteration and assonance? Because it creates a song-like quality, a song-like atmosphere. So it brings, you know, beautification, it brings further charms, it further increase attraction, and it make it more convincing and appealing to the reader. That's why the poet do need to use these both devices, alliteration and assonance. These are very much important in poetry. Now find text evidence. Now we would give example from the passage on 294. Look for example of alliteration and assonance. So your idea would be clearer and you would come to know. Think about what the poet's use of two devices tells you about Rachel's state of mind. Like repeating the W sound at the beginning of words and the long E sound within words hints gives clue, hence gives a clue at the tension and worry that Rachel is feeling about what has happened. It means that there are certain words like in the following: wondering, worrying, where this week. Now by now you are wondering, worrying why I have seemed so weird this week. Not calling you, not texting. You can see at the beginning of the sound W, wondering, worrying, weird, week. So W at the beginning, while long E sound here, wondering, weird, weak, and the assonance, the long E sound is inside the word while W at the beginning of the word. So these repeating or the repetition of W and long E sound indicates tension and worry that Rachel is feeling about what has happened. When Rachel came to know about Nilda's weird behavior, strange behavior, So she was wondering, worrying. These are techniques which arise the inner feelings of humans, what is happening inside. So there is inside conflicts. We have two kinds of conflicts: inside conflicts, external conflict, which is called inside conflict is called internal conflict, and outside conflict is called external conflict. Now here is the conflict that happen is inside, internal conflicts. So through words they explain. And there's the third, word choice. So word choice, very much important in choosing the right words for the right occasion, and particularly in writing a poem and using a language in the poetry. To describe objects and action in a narrative poem, writer use words and phrases that suggest what the characters experience within their five senses. So the poet use words which are closely related to the five senses: hearing, touching, listening, looking, so, and smelling. They would use kind of words which appeals to these five senses to create images in your mind. This sensory language helps reader imagine the events. So it just awaken your imagination, and there's a film and a movie start that you start watching inside your mind. So that's why this very much important word choices. And read the excerpt from the hierarchy below. There's an example. Good thing I wasn't holding anything breakable when I read your message, because I might have dropped it or flung it across the room. I highlighted some words which gives clues, and these are the indicator. Holding, like touching; breakable, like also sound, related to sound; and read, like looking; dropped, sound; flung, throwing, again with the touching. So these are all they appeal to your senses, five senses. When the words appeal to your senses, so you start imagining and start looking and creating images and picture in your mind, and that's very much interesting, that you take interest and you enjoy the passage or the literary composition that you are reading during that time. So hopefully you understand that point. Now the next one: instead I dropped down into a rickety recliner, dropped down again with a sound, and clench my teeth tight. Now here is indication of the anger. Clench my teeth tight. It also expression of anger through different movements of your body. Shaking also is heard as if I were outside wearing shorts in the freezing rain. Is starting from is a simile or a metaphor. So you use. So these are all appeal to five senses. Hopefully you would have got the message. Homework: revise language devices used in these poems and write a summary in your own words about these narrative poems. Thank you very much and have a nice day.